Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, April 13th here in Montgomery County at the Council, and we're here for a public hearing on the FY24 capital budget, amendments to the FY23 to 28 capital improvements program, and the FY24 operating budget. Council and committees will conduct our work sessions beginning this Friday, April 14th, and the full Council will begin its work sessions on May 8th, which means there's a number of weeks in between then and now for your thoughts to be heard and for us to work through the $6.8 billion budget that the county executive has transmitted to us. This is the third of 4 public hearings that we are having, in which we will be hearing from more than 150 residents. So thank you for participating in this extremely important process. We have 32 speakers this afternoon. I'd like to call up the first 5 who are here in person. Sarah Harris, Anzer Woodward, Debbie Brown, Tony Hausner, who's already up, and Stuart Burlow. And take any seat you like. Oh, Sarah. Someone might need that seat, Sarah. Yep. Oh, okay, thank you very much. Anyone else joining us? Great. Thank you all. Ms. Harris, we'll start with you. If you want to turn your microphone on, one of those buttons. No, on the left hand, on the right hand side. There you go. You got it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, council members. I am Sarah Harris, president of MCRAEA, the Montgomery County Retired Employees Association. I am here today to submit testimony concerning OPEB, other post-employment benefits. MCRAEA's 17 board members represent 7,500 plus retirees and dependents who depend on well-managed and financed trust funds for their pension and health care benefits. Given the importance of OPEB benefits, MCRAEA established a 4-member work group to review the FY24 operating budget, the GO committee packet, and the GO committee March 7 letter to the county executive. A copy of our work group report is submitted with this testimony for you. The indisputable point made by the GO committee is that, quote, an updated OPEB funding policy is key to ensuring the long-term viability of the OPEB trust, controlling costs over the long term, and creating a clear and defined path to begin using trust assets, end of quote. It is essential for the council and the county executive to work on narrowing the differences and securing agreement on a long-term OPEB policy during this budget cycle. To quote from the MCRAEA OPEB workgroup report, while the executive and his staff raised some important issues, in our view, the approach taken by the GO committee represents the correct starting point and the best path forward. It is principled, responsible, realistic, and a better fit for the gyrations in investment returns of recent and likely coming years. It is consistent with MCRAEA's historical position on OPEB funding policy. MCRAEA urges each of you council members to continue to fully fund the OPEB Trust Fund to protect future retiree health benefits. Thank you for your efforts.
Thank you very much, Ms. Harris, and we appreciate the work that you and all your colleagues in the association did for residents of Montgomery County. Next is Anzer Woodward. Is Anzer Woodward here? Okay. Ms. Brown, and I see that Our clerk is next to you to provide assistance.
All right, thank you. My name is Debbie Brown, and I live in Rockville, Maryland. I am testifying on behalf of the Montgomery County Public Library Accessibility Advisory Committee, of which I am secretary. The Library Accessibility Advisory Committee advises the MCPL director and library board members on increasing the value and accessibility of library services, facilities, online presence, and programming for people with disabilities. The LAAC has concerns about the budget because any cutting of staff that affects all county residents affects people with disabilities even more. For example, all library users sometimes need staff assistance to find materials or get started in operating library technology. People with disabilities may need more assistance, such as clearer instructions or written instructions because they are deaf or have audio processing problems. Librarians often need to pick up the slack when other county agencies are lacking in accessibility. For example, people often call, text, or email, ask a librarian when using a county website is too daunting. In order to keep libraries fully staffed, substitutes are necessary because of illness, and like everyone else, library staff ought to be able to go on vacation knowing their work will be done. We ask you to restore the FTE positions for substitutes. The library pages put returned materials in order and they shelve them. The cuts to that part-time position affect people with disabilities because that job provides good work experience doing much appreciated work. And having fewer pages affects all library users because of the increased time it takes to get materials on the shelves, especially during the summer. Please restore the FTE positions for pages. All of the goals in the MCPL strategic plan apply to people with disabilities as well as to other people. People with disabilities need to begin school ready to learn. People with disabilities whose first language is not English need to be able to participate in cultural programs. The ambitious MCPL strategic plan needs fully staffed libraries to carry it out. Like everyone else, people with disabilities use the library as a place to do homework, use the internet for job searches, and participate in cultural activities, and we need fully staffed libraries to serve all of the county's citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown, for your testimony and for serving on the advisory committee. Next is Mr. Hausner.
My testimony is based upon 20 years of experience in criminal justice programs, 30 years in federal health policy and research, and 45 years of community action in Montgomery County. My criminal justice experience includes my doctoral dissertation, 7 years as founder and president of Safe Silver Spring, and continued consultation with national experts in criminal justice. I'm going to address the recent increases in county crime, especially in Silver Spring. I recently shared with the council an op-ed that I had published in MoCo 360, and I will highlight some of those recommendations and the articles attached. Following is a brief summary, and I consulted with a set of national experts in making these recommendations. The county police, as you know, is significantly understaffed and has had small recruiting classes this past few years, including this one, which is still much below earlier years. Therefore, provide police with either housing or housing subsidies so they can live in Montgomery County rather than having to commute from Frederick. Further, help pay their college loans. Expand several successful programs such as truancy court and mental health court. Further, consider expanding these drug court and the mental health court and others to teenagers. Evaluate whether or not the Positive Youth Development Initiative should be expanded. Develop training programs modeled after California's highly recognized training system. I recommend that you consult with a panel of experts such as the ones I've worked with. Particularly key advisor for me has been Cynthia Lum at George Mason University's Center for Evidence-Based Criminal Justice Programs Research, and I've worked closely with her over the last 10 years. She has just initiated a longitudinal program with Fairfax Police, which was just written up last Saturday in the Washington Post. Such a study could also be of value to our county, and I've referenced the article. And another set of recommendations that I received after I wrote the op-ed was to have a broader set of preventive youth programs that address at-risk kids and involve police in more community programs such as meeting with parents and kids in schools, various youth programs, etc., especially with higher risk populations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hausner. And final on this panel, Mr. Burlow.
Good afternoon. Stuart Burlow from the American Heart Association, also a resident of District 4. And I wanted to talk to all of you today about something that really couldn't be any more important, and that is training all of our kids to literally save a life. I think as all of us around the country have learned over the last few months this year, when someone suffers a cardiac arrest, when their heart stops beating, they've collapsed on the ground, every second counts, and it is essential that we have people in our communities trained to perform CPR, call 911, use an AED, and help to save someone's life until the trained professionals can arrive. We know, unfortunately, that 90% of people around the country who suffer a cardiac arrest, and about 350,000 do in this country every year, 90% do not survive. But we know with CPR, the likelihood of survival increases 2 to 3 times. Now, here in Maryland, we were one of the pioneers in our state. Way back in 2014, Brianna's Law was passed, and that was a landmark piece of legislation that requires that all high school students will learn CPR before they graduate. Since then, almost every state in the country has joined Maryland, up to about, I think about 40 now. But it is essential that schools have the ability to provide that training, meaning they have the kits available, the mannequins, everything that would be required for that for a teacher, whether it's a health teacher, PE teacher, any other instructor, to provide that hands-on training for the students. So today we're asking for up to about $100,000, probably a little bit less, so that MCPS would have the funds available to purchase those CPR in schools kits. Again, the law was passed way back in 2014. We're starting to have some conversations with the folks over at MCPS now. It's a clearly defined need that they do need to replace those kits, purchase new ones, and with your support, they would have the funding available to purchase those kits so that teachers in the county could help to teach the kids to save a life. And again, what's really important, I gave you some statistics at the top. Unfortunately, like so many other things in the health world, we know that there are disparities, inequities in training and in bystander CPR. We know that in communities of color, we see significantly less provision of bystander CPR. I included some of that in my testimony that you all can review. So particularly in schools throughout the country that serve students of color, it's even more important that the training is occurring so that every child in Montgomery County can be trained to save a life. So again, we ask for your support. A relatively small investment of probably less than $100,000 truly will train every student who graduates high school in Montgomery County to save a life. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burlow, and thank you all for your testimony this afternoon. And Ms. Brown, our clerk, Ms. Rupp, will help you back to your seat if you need. Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Cheryl Chapman, Stephanie Golinski, Susan Jenkins, Jessica Contra, and Rebecca Rothstein. And we'll begin with Dr. Chapman.
Montgomery County Council President Glass and all council members present, thank you for this time. My name is Dr. Cheryl Chapman, and I am a resident of downtown Silver Spring, and I have lived and worked as a county resident for over 35 years. I have served this region in many capacities as a founding member of the Silver Spring Town Center, Inc., the African American Advisory Group for both Ike Leggett and our County Executive Commission on Children and Youth, the Interagency Commission on Homelessness, the Montgomery County Chapter, Sigma Theta, a Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and currently I'm a governor's appointee on the Procurement Improvement Council for the state. I've served as faculty at GW Medical School for 30 years at Howard University School of Social Work, and was recently appointed to the Board of Trustees at Montgomery College. So I've been around, and I have an expansive perspective. I've raised 5 children here, including 3 relative children with disabilities who attended MCPS and MC. I'm a black woman, a black mother, a black grandmama, and participating member of this community. I've seen it all. What I have never seen in this county is adequate support for black families and children to ensure equitable health care and mental health. Have not seen that. You are aware, I'm sure, of the statistics about blacks in this county. They are more likely to be low income, more likely to struggle with basic needs, more likely to die from preventable disease. But one thing, they're not unemployed and they're not uninsurable. They are not, however, eligible for the clinics this county operates. To me, this explains the health disparity quite clearly. Add to all this the implicit bias deeply rooted in the American healthcare system and post-pandemic mental health crisis. And we have quite a problem that cannot be minimized. We see it daily and it is in the news. Equity is not standardization. We need something different. The Black Physicians and Healthcare Network, BPHN, is something different. It is new and innovative. It's a key piece to solving the problem of black health access. Alternative models do not perform well for working poor black people. The BPHN is a response that is respectful and attentive to the needs of this specific community. It's perfectly tailored to provide for the privacy and individual empowerment of black people who have suffered the generational trauma of racism. Black BPHN providers are the trusted professionals so desperately needed by this community. They reflect 5% of the total health clinicians nationally. In just a short time, they have saved the lives, in just a little over a year, the lives of children and adults who went undiagnosed and untreated. To the black and African diaspora members of this community, the BPH means that they do not have to choose between basic needs, a copay, and a visit to the doctor, dentist, or therapist. Maybe the previous council's creation of the BPHN was inadvertent. There were extra federal dollars, and during the pandemic, we all learned to be radical and get outside our comfort zones. But even if it was not intended, it was powerful. Montgomery County changed black health care access for the better. It changed lives. It gave people the opportunity to take better care of themselves and their families. I urgently ask you to find the additional $1 million to fund this program fully, because it will continue to make an impact, supported by a community, a coalition of over 100 black community organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chapman. Next, Ms. Golinski.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Golinski, and I am a resident of Damascus along with my family of 3. My husband and I are both special education teachers here in Montgomery County. I love teaching. I especially love teaching special education. If you ask any of my past or present administrators, they will tell you that I am excellent at my job. I always put students first. I work hard to connect with parents and get them involved in their children's education. I plan lessons that will help my students learn academics, but will also help them to prepare to be contributing members of society. Currently, I teach middle school special education in a school community-based program. This is a classroom for students with cognitive disabilities and developmental delays. Many of my students cannot independently feed themselves or utilize the bathroom on their own. In the last several years, with the demands of the job increasing and my time to meet those demands decreasing, this job has gotten exponentially harder. I have felt the profound impacts of staffing shortages in my classroom, where personnel is essential to meet the very basic needs of my students. There have been moments in the last several years when I was unsure that I would have the staff or the resources to simply keep my students safe. Despite all of these challenges, I have stayed, while former colleagues have left in droves. Unless there is a significant county investment in public schools, the staffing shortages will continue to grow. There will be deficits in all areas, but I can assure you special education will be one of the most heavily impacted areas. The thought of leaving a place and potentially a profession that I love is devastating. But the simple fact is, we cannot keep doing the jobs of multiple people. It's absolutely not sustainable, and it's not safe. Make no mistake, special education is in crisis. This revenue adjustment is an important step in ensuring our students, especially those with the most significant needs, have access to the fully staffed quality education that they deserve. This adjustment will help to recruit new talented educators and persuade current ones to stay. It will help to alleviate the staffing crisis and stem the potential burnout for special education staff. I call on you all to pass this revenue adjustment for the sake of our kids and the future of special education in Montgomery County. Demonstrate your commitment to being true partners for our kids, our communities, and our future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Golinski. Next, Ms. Jenkins.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Susan Jenkins, your partner and CEO of the Arts and Humanities Council, an NDA and our county's designated local arts agency. I want to thank the county executive and the county council for their past support of our agency, especially as the pandemic wreaked havoc on our sector. I'm here today asking for $1.1 million for regranting over the county executive's proposal and for $3.6 million in ARPA funds to complete our three-year request from 2020. We understand the challenges you face as you consider the FY24 budget priorities. Rebuilding and renewing an economy that will provide opportunity and prosperity for our residents is a colossal challenge, and one that will require our legislators and community leaders to leave no stone unturned in our search for comprehensive, viable, and equitable economic solutions. I come to you today not to simply ask for your financial support, but to offer solutions. In 2020, the county's overall investment of $9.2 million generated over $198 million from the local cultural industry, contributing to local and state revenue and supporting over 4,000 jobs. The arts mean business and support a diverse and creative workforce. Continue to invest in us now. The return on the county's investment offers exponential growth. Development in the creative economy strengthens overall economic development. I mean, why else would we build a cultural arts center in Wheaton if we weren't considering it a strategic catalyst for community, creative, and economic growth? Those who work in arts and cultural spaces deeply understand economic and community development imperatives and the potential of their work to grow communities. Small businesses and entrepreneurs comprise a majority of our sector. These designers, carpenters, electricians, masons, engineers, technicians, and other creatives need affordable housing in livable, walkable communities and deserve a great quality of life in our county. If we want to keep them, we need to invest in them. Now's not the time to be penny wise and pound foolish. Invest in us now so that we can help the county recover. We've seen growth in applications in the majority of our funding opportunities and in requests for professional development and technical assistance. The county executive's proposal is essentially a flat budget for our agency, which will fall significantly short of need. Plainly, this council asked us to find and support everyone in need across our sector over the past 3 years, and we must now meet those needs of those we've invited to our expanded, more representative portfolio. Rural, suburban, and ex-urban communities alike thrive through the arts and humanities. Much of the increased demand identified through our past ARPA funding opportunity comes from the Ag Reserve and Heartland communities in the northern crown of Montgomery County, as well as communities of color across the entire county. Help us help you rebuild as we partner in this work together. The arts and creative industries offer a powerful source of light as we aim to reignite economic growth. Your sustained investment helps us focus on the distinctive history, people, cultures, and attributes of Montgomery County's communities that can yield impactful civic benefits and local economic advantages. Thank you in advance for your continued support. Invest in us now so we can help the county continue to recover. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Next, Ms. Contra.
I apologize in advance. I read really fast, so sorry. Good afternoon, County Council members. My name is Jessica Contra, and I currently wear many hats within MCPS. For the past 9 years, I have been a high school counselor, SSL coordinator, CTL rep for counseling, college fair co-chair, counseling advocacy team and leadership member, presenter at counseling conferences, and MCA bargaining team member. Next year, I will start my journey as a resource counselor. Prior to this, I was a teacher for over 8 years in Arizona, so while I do not live or have my own kids attend Montgomery County schools, I have experienced education outside of Maryland as a whole. As a high school counselor, it can easily be said that my day-to-day tasks change at the flip of a coin. While my job dictates that I accomplish many things, those tasks will vary depending on the daily needs of my students. I work with students to support all of their needs. What needs, you ask? Academic, social, emotional, college, and career needs. Prior to the pandemic, this usually meant reviewing their transcripts and ensuring they select the most appropriate courses. I was meeting with families to educate them on college and career opportunities and the processes. I was managing and holding 504 meetings. I was also educating students on regulating their own emotions and dealing with crisis situations, almost daily. Unfortunately, since the pandemic, the need to support our students' social and emotional needs has grown exponentially, while the responsibilities I mentioned above have not gone away. Now, the majority of my time is spent assisting students with their emotional needs and holding 504 meetings, the latter of which is not to be determined as a counseling task per our national standards. Even considering all that I have mentioned, I am fortunate enough to work at a high school level in MCPS. This is because, as per our current contract, we follow the ASCA national standard of 1 counselor to 250 students. However, as you have heard from my colleagues at previous meetings, the same cannot be said for the elementary school level. MCPS has stated during negotiations, which you have all received weekly updates about, they cannot meet the ASCA requirement of 1 to 250. They say it is not budgetarily feasible. This is a catastrophe waiting to happen. National data shows that for the first time ever, suicidality and death by suicide in the younger age groups of 5 to 11 is now in the top 5 causes of death. This is a heartbreaking statistic, and everyone should be monitoring and aware of it. I have been impacted personally by students I have lost to suicide both as a teacher and a counselor. I also deal with this statistic daily in my personal life as my own son battles with these mental health concerns. However, he is fortunate to not only have a mom who understands how to intervene when these types of situations occur, but his school counselors have also offered the most support ever. He attends a school with 3 school counselors and 1 psychologist, all of which are staffed full-time. He has an amazing relationship with his school counselor, and I can honestly say she has played a vital role in ensuring his safety on a daily basis. I cannot afford to send my children to a school that maybe have 1 school counselor, if that. I've seen the negative impacts of this ratio play out in real time in Arizona. Their current average is 1 to 950 students. This is close to what our current elementary schools are running. I have to hold at least a master's degree in order to perform my job. However, I have chosen to go beyond that as it is in the best interest of my students. I am also currently nationally certified. I'm a member of multiple school counseling associations and begun my work towards my doctorate. Everything that we are told to do for our students, I have done. So many of my colleagues have done that as well. While being additionally certified carries stipends for us, it is still not enough. To add insult to injury, school counselors are left out of the 10K written into the blueprint for Maryland. Given the structure of our current salary scale, I was not able to be granted all my years of service when I moved here. I'm also currently stuck in the never-ending cycle of not being able to be offered a step. I cannot imagine the position you are all in when it comes to creating and managing a budget for a county as large as Montgomery County, nor do I want to. I don't do math. However, I implore you to consider the fact that the budget for education needs to keep increasing year over year. We used to be the top county in the state for teachers in education, but we have slipped to 6th, and I can only imagine we will continue to fall far behind other counties who have prioritized education. Please consider taking any step necessary to prioritize education before the teaching shortage impacts our county and those who truly love our jobs have to leave the profession entirely in order to provide for our families. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Contra, and thank you for your advocacy and sharing with us your family situation. Is Rebecca Rothstein here? Okay. We'll move on to the next panel then. Thank you all very much. Will Jessica Volz, Don Milner, Marcus Bolston, Philip Brando, and Monique King come on down? Start with Ms. Volz. Is Ms. Volz here? Okay. Mr. Milner.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Things that matter most should never be sacrificed for things that matter least. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe once said this, and he could have been talking about the choice you're about to make if you don't approve this revenue enhancement measure. My name is Don Lee Milner, and I've been in education for 26 years. 24 of those years have been spent serving students and teachers in Montgomery County Public Schools as a teacher, team leader, content specialist, and currently I'm a consulting teacher. I support first-year teachers and underperforming veteran teachers. I believe that education is the great equalizer, and I always have. Due to that belief, I have always felt that the children who matter most to a community, we should not sacrifice them for aspirations of higher office. This equalizer effect of education is at the core of what drives our work in education. However, it does not come without hard work, dedication, and instructional planning of teachers. Our students deserve the very best teacher in front of them every single instructional day. Some days, that means we show up not even close to 100%. It is why I refuse to accept that in pursuit of this end goal, we have to sacrifice our mental and emotional well-being. Effective use of time can provide the appropriate prioritization and self-fulfillment in the classroom and in life. This is where I, as the consulting teacher, play a pivotal role in helping teachers grow at an exceptional rate in 1 to 2 years of instructional coaching. Research and professional opinion agree that it takes 1 to 5 years for a teacher to become proficient in instructional mastery. If that is accurate, then why would we assume that a student becomes their best selves quicker than us as adults? We then do our best to utilize the data to drive instructional decisions. In our district right now, we have students that have significant educational gaps in reading and math, and it is not because the teachers are bad or because they struggle or are not bright. Some of our neediest students are impacted by poverty, language barriers, and in many cases trauma. The causes of a student struggle are at times hidden from the first-year teacher. They enter a school system right into their first classroom with all of these needs in one room. And if those first-year teachers that you want to pay less come to teach here, why would they do so? It is those teachers that are leaving the field 3 years into a productive career because they too have not become their best selves. Our students cannot wait 5 years to have mastery teachers without additional supports. They cannot wait for the learning curve to be for inexperienced teachers to figure out what they can do if it is the right profession for them. CTs like myself, we straighten the arc of inexperience. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Now, Mr. Bolston.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm here today to talk to you about Easter Seals Adult Day Services. I am the Senior Director for the Adult Day Service Program. We have 3 locations, one in Montgomery County, one in Hagerstown, and one in Baltimore County. And the Adult Day Service is a critical resource for residents in each of those counties. The Adult Day is at the same level of care as a nursing facility. Many don't know, but the Adult Day is covered by an RN, a social worker, certified nursing assistant, direct support staff, and they help the participants with their activities of daily living, including feeding assistance, ambulation, continence, and medication administration. Easter Seals is one of 2 providers in Hagerstown, one of 16 in Montgomery County, and there are many more in Baltimore County. However, Easter Seals in Montgomery County is one of only 2 nonprofits in the area. Our program is open from 7:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., so we look to provide services for the full scope of the day. And for many of our families, this is a critical resource and a critical respite to them. According to a recent survey by Gensworth, every day until 2030, 10,000 baby boomers will turn 65, and 7 out of 10 people will require long-term care. However, did you know that the cost of adult day services is 1/5 the cost of a nursing home, and 46% cheaper than the cost of an assisted living? We partner with resources in the county, such as Commission on Aging, Department of Social Services, and Veterans Affairs, to reach as many families as we can to provide services. But it has become increasingly challenging due to recovery from the pandemic. During the pandemic, we were able to provide a lot of critical supports due to the funding from this council, and we thank you for that. We were in the community, we were doing pickups and providing groceries to thousands of pounds of groceries to family members throughout the county, not only through Adult Day, but through Child Development Services and veterans and homeless returning veterans. In addition to that, we did a lot of phone calls to check in on our constituents and make sure that they have all their health care needs taken care of. And throughout that, we've had a lot of challenges to secure certain things for our participants. We want to make sure that they have healthy meals. In Hagerstown, there are no caterers for our constituents. We've had to go out and really grassroots meet different caterers and educate them about the Child and Adult Care Food Program. For many of our participants, this is the only healthy meal that they receive. In Silver Spring, the cost of a vehicle to provide transportation has increased over 65%. So if we want to buy a van to go out and provide transportation for clients, that increase is more than doubled. Overall, I want to leave you with a story. We are recently providing a supports for a family. The wife was taking care of her husband who has dementia, and then later on discovered that she has now dementia. And so both of them are now in our Hagerstown program, enjoying the program together. But this is a critical resource, and we hope to have it continue to be funded. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bolston. Next, Mr. Brando.
Thank you for your time, council members. Some of us have met before, and some of us are meeting for the very first time in this classroom. My name is Phil. This room. Sorry.
If you could,
you can tell what my profession is already. My name is Phil Brando, and I am a science teacher at Kingsview Middle School, and I call Germantown my home. Home to me has a lot of meaning, which is why I especially have followed this debate around the Home Act and the signals you guys have been giving towards the proposed revenue enhancement measure, and I'm here to be here in favor of it. Since this is my home, I believe homes are where governments and people work together to uplift each other and make each other whole. And since I've lived here, I've learned so many things. If I did not live here, I might wonder why some of my students are just so tired, put their heads down in class, and just seem out of it, right? But I live here, and I know these students, and I know what's going on. For a lot of them, they don't have a true bed or a home. They're sleeping on the couches or floors of their family members or friends in condominiums that are not meant for that many people. If I was not from this area, I teach science. I might be wondering why the students are not interested in agriculture. Why are they not interested in the environment? I live in these condominiums, and I start to realize they don't have green spaces. They only have plants that are in pots. So I have to tailor my education to what they understand, and I bring these resources to them. If I did not live here, I might not realize how strong our diversity is and how well our voices and strong they are. They just need an ear or a person to listen to them. These needs are, and these horizons are things that I can bring to my students because I live in the community with them. This is my home too. When it comes to policy, I don't need you to do what I would do, but I would like you to at least listen to me, and I'm asking for help. I am here to represent not just myself, but so many in my shoes and in my place, especially our public servants. If you need a face to the problem, I'll be that face. I used to work a minimum wage job in Frederick, and I was debt-free. Since coming here to be a teacher, I have accrued $20,000 in credit card debts and more, $40,000 in student loans. My rent has gone up just this year by 15%. My food costs are up by 10%. And that's just not me. It's utilities and everything else. We have the second lowest property tax rate other than Talbot County in this entire state. And we are suffering because of it. So we have two choices. Our first choice is we can take the time to keep recruiting and then breaking and then pricing out our public servants. Or we can take one last chance and we can start raising the funds we need and continue to pass legislation that is positive, sort of like Councilwoman Albanez's gas price bill, and try to treat each other with respect and dignity we all deserve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Brando. And final speaker on this panel is Ms. Kincaid.
Greetings, council members. My name is Monique Kincaid. I am a veteran educator with nearly 27 years of experience. To put that in perspective for you, you'd all be nearing your 7th term as council members if you did the same amount of years that I have. During those nearly 3 decades, I have served as a special educator, a school counselor, and now as a pupil personnel worker, or PPW as we are commonly referred. In all 3 roles, my goal has been to support students, families, and school staff. However, the last few years, just like the work of my colleagues working in other fields of education, the work of PPWs has become increasingly untenable. Presently, PPWs employed by MCPS are assigned 3 to 5 schools with an average caseload of approximately 3,000 to 4,000 students. There are not enough of us to meet the needs of the entire school system. That, not tenable. But that's not the end of our work. In our role, we must stay abreast of policies and procedures, state and federal laws, verify and monitor residency of students, monitor, brainstorm, intervene for students with chronic absences, conduct home visits, provide resources and referrals for students and their families. We do a lot. We collaborate with administrators, parents, counselors, teachers, and community stakeholders daily and use knowledge of MCPS programs and community resources to determine interventions, opportunities, and resources. And like I said, these are just some of our responsibilities. We acknowledge and value the role families play in the educational success of students and make effort to educate, include, and empower parents and guardians. We do our best to collaborate with community members, which you've hopefully taken stock of as your office has received hundreds of emails from parents asking you to do what is necessary to fund MCPS's budget. Due to the current social, economic, and political climate over the last 3 years, it has become increasingly difficult to meet the fundamental needs of our students and communities. This is particularly evident with our most at-risk populations. Our students are struggling with poverty, strife, and pressure. These burdens arrive to school with our students. As a result, we are required to provide more in-depth support to them. Despite countless hours of work in our efforts to engage all stakeholders, it has become increasingly difficult to perform all of these tasks. The expectation placed upon us to meet your objectives may have been reasonable in theory, but the day-to-day depiction is contrary. Campaigns depict our system as glorious, but being on the front lines, we educators are telling you that we need help. Thus, I'm calling on this body to pass County Executive Ehrlich's revenue enhancement proposal so that MCPS can partner with the 3 school unions to improve the work of PPW, school psychologists, school workers, social workers, and other of our my esteemed colleagues, which you'll be meeting with tonight. So we know our community, like I said, we're on the front line. We need the tools. We need your help. Please, please, please make the financial commitment this budget session to make the aspirations of our students possible by investing in the work of our kids, communities, and their future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kincaid, and thank you all for your testimony this afternoon. I'll invite the next group of panelists up: Maury Peterson, Sylvia Johnson, Louis Weiland, Laura Lear, and Lenita Lawson. Okay. Maury Peterson.
That's me. Good afternoon. I'm Maury Peterson. I'm the Executive Director at Rebuilding Together Montgomery County, and as many of you know, our mission is to provide critical home repairs and accessibility modifications to the county's most vulnerable homeowners, including seniors, veterans, people with disabilities, struggling families with children, and marginalized community members. This year we're celebrating our 33rd anniversary. And over the years, we have served more than 3,000 low-income families and galvanized 50,000 of our community volunteers in our efforts. I'm proud to live in Montgomery County, where it's clear that the County Council is comprised of strong and aggressive leaders in advancing affordable housing. I'm here to thank the County Council for your long-term support of our mission at Rebuilding Together Montgomery County. As many of you know, our organization is the premier local nonprofit, 100% dedicated to preserving the existing affordable housing in the county. We don't construct new housing, but instead help the average, rarely recognized low-income homeowner who's in desperate need of critical repairs to allow them to remain safe and healthy at home and to stay in our community. For example, we recently helped a 100-year-old widow with a bunch of critical repairs, allowing her to stay healthy and safe in her own home and age in place. So our aim is just to serve neighbors in need, and we're also grateful to the Council for the new Design for Life money, which is going to allow us to provide additional accessibility modifications across the county for vulnerable homeowners. So in addition to providing help to vulnerable homeowners, we also are fortunate in that we try to advance other nonprofits to help vulnerable populations. So this April during National Rebuilding Month, we'll be helping other nonprofits at Hearts and Homes for Youth, the ARC, Community Reach Rockville, Our House, and Housing Unlimited, to name a few. And while the need for our services is ever so greater, our costs for materials and supplies continue to go up with supply chain issues. We're grateful for the support provided by the council. And this year in the last 2 years, you've helped us serve 329 low-income families, and we're now on pace to serve an additional 180 by June 30th of this year. So to address the backlog of vulnerable homeowners waiting for repairs, we request and thank you for your continued annual support and for voting in this upcoming on April 18th for the expansion of the Design for Life program. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Gonsalbali.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Sylvia Johnson. I am a dual board certified integrative obesity specialist. I am the founder of Embrace You Weight and Wellness, and I'm also a proud member of the Black Physicians Healthcare Network here in Montgomery County. And I'm coming today to say one simple thing on behalf of my patients and on behalf of the countless culturally competent providers and clinicians is that Black people want to be healthy. I'm not going to start with statistics such as Black men are more likely to die than any other race, or statistics such as Black women, Black mothers are more likely to die of maternal health complications. I'm not going to start with statistics that Black women are have the highest rates of obesity, but I'm going to say that we want to be healthy. And here in Montgomery County, we are at the precipice of innovative, groundbreaking program that stands in the gap. Throughout my career, I have worked on the COVID front lines. I actually served at one of the subacute rehab facilities that was mentioned today, and I saw firsthand how the collision of pre-existing healthcare disparities met head-on with a pandemic. So being unprepared in healthcare transects every aspect that we've talked about today, whether it be education, whether it be housing, whatever it is. If people aren't healthy, they can't survive and they cannot thrive. So the best thing to me that has come out of the pandemic is that we have learned what does not work. And what we did previously in the county regarding healthcare, particularly in our most vulnerable population, which is the Black population, which has been affected by systemic racism and implicit bias. And I know we hear this so much, it gets, people get used to thinking it and it's a mantra, but I really want that to sink in, because it actually is, it is not the fact of having Black skin that makes you more likely to suffer from health disparities. It is the fact that when you have been affected by the impact of racism at every level of the social determinants of health, you are more likely. So what we have done in the Black Physicians Healthcare Network, while the thought of race is just a moniker or it's just a signal of what we have created, is that we've identified culturally competent best practices that can be extrapolated and utilized to spread not just in Montgomery County but throughout the country. The current budget right now seeks to cut the funding for subsidizing co-pays, insurance services not covered by insurance, and hopes to shuttle people back to Montgomery Cares, where many of our patients are not eligible for those services anyhow. So the fee subsidies will actually allow culturally competent providers, whether they be Black, whether they be Hispanic, but those that want to be in our program, to be able to serve people at the level that they're able to without having to sacrifice their own financial well-being. So with that being said, I thank the council for your attention and ask you to please consider giving us the additional $1 million funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Mr. Weiland. There you go.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the County Council. I'm Lewis Welland, resident of Olney. I'm here to address the council budget discussion that took place a few days ago about the $692 ITOC. During the discussion, the issue of including the called back ITOC funds in the proposed budget was raised. One concern was that including the called back ITOC funds in the 2023 budget would cause fiscal distortions that would impact spending in the future. To clarify, the county issued the $692 credit presumptively on the 2022 tax bills with a plan to claw it back from homeowners who do not submit their homestead tax credit or HTC application by May 1st, 2023. However, the statutory deadline for submitting the HTC application to qualify for the ITOC in 2022 was actually May 1st, 2022, and there's no legal basis for presumptively issuing the ITOC. Therefore, the county should be clawing back all of the $692 ITOCs awarded in 2022 to homeowners who had not submitted their HTC applications by May 1st, 2022. Former Delegate Eric Luedtke, now the governor's chief legislative officer, sponsored the bill, that's HB 1200 of 2020, that ties issuance of the ITOC to having an approved HTC form on file at SSTAT. In 2022, Mr. Luedtke confirmed in writing to the county finance director that state law does not allow for presumptive issuance of the ITOC. Additionally, Stanford Ward, legislative attorney to the General Assembly, also confirmed in writing in 2022 that, quote, the county is not complying with the state law, unquote, by presumptively issuing the ITOC. The relevant emails sent by Mr. Luedtke and Mr. Ward to the finance director and to the various state delegates are included with my written testimony, and I've highlighted the important parts for you. The county attorney has reportedly claimed that another enacted bill, HB 203 of 2022, allows presumptive issuance of the ITOC. Former Delegate Luedtke quashed that claim, writing, quote, that HB 203 passed through my committee, unquote, and he, quote, entirely agrees with Mr. Willen, unquote. Again, see the attached emails. So by following state law, if you choose to do so, the budget concerns involving the ITOC problems can be resolved, and the county will recover many millions of dollars, I would say about $100 million, of improperly issued tax credits. Also, you could reduce the 2023 tax rate or increase the 2023 ITOC by clawing back the improperly awarded 2022 ITOCs. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
There was a lot in that 3 minutes, Mr. Willen.
Pardon me?
There was a lot in that 3 minutes, Mr. Willen.
Well, yes, did I fit it in?
Thank you.
We have it all in writing.
We'll look at those documents you shared today.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Lear.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Lear, and I'm the CEO for Community Support Services, a nonprofit agency providing services to children and adults with developmental disabilities. This June, the state will end the pandemic rules called Appendix K that have been in place for 3 years and 3 months. The flexibilities allowed under Appendix K help providers and people receiving services both financially and in how services were received. While everyone wants to leave the pandemic behind, it will be very difficult to pick up and return to the funding service requirements by July 1. CSS and other provider agencies, as well as individuals and their families, will struggle during the next year to comply with the pre-pandemic rules, as well as to transition to new services and funding requirements as DDA moves forward with its new waiver and LTSS billing system. We all watched in horror as the hospitals and nursing homes were pictured on the news, the suffering of those in need and the suffering of the doctors and nurses. Lesser known are the thousands of stories of individuals with developmental disabilities who lived in group homes or independently with support staff, or the families who depended on the children attending special education programs and therapeutic after school in order to continue to live safely in the family home. Most individuals continue to require support staff, so like the workers in hospitals and nursing homes, our staff valiantly left their homes and went to work in group and family homes, followed PPE rules, spent hours sanitizing every place they touched, and kept clients away from others as many were unable to wear masks correctly. About a third of the individuals supported by CSS became positive for COVID, and about half of the staff. While we deeply appreciate that there were no deaths among our clients or staff, these staff risked their lives to care for COVID-positive clients, took care of children with autism when their family members were positive for COVID, and sometimes stayed away from their own families for weeks at a time in order to avoid infecting them. CSS and other providers had to make many changes in how to safely deliver services, how to fund them, and how to compensate employees for their essential work. We did that, and are coming out the other side, but we cannot instantly rebuild and return to how services operated 3 years and 3 months ago. We have an historic shortage of support staff and are increasing wages as much as possible, but we're struggling with the higher cost of food and other goods. The county has provided a match to the state funds received by providers called the DD Supplement for over 30 years. This supplement is vital to provider agencies as state funding is not adequate in our county, where minimum wage, housing, and other costs of doing business exceed other areas of the state. We're asking that the DD supplement be increased by the cost of living determined by Social Security to be 8.7%. With the End the Wait bill at the state level, additional individuals will be eligible for DDA-funded services in the coming year, and we need a healthy, prepared provider workforce to meet the needs and opportunity. I urge you to increase the DD supplement by the cost of living of 8.7% and support providers, citizens, staff with developmental staff and citizens with developmental disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lear. And final on this panel is Ms. Lawson. Turn your mic on. There you go.
Thank you. This is my first time with
welcome.
you guys. Thank you. Hi, my name is Lenita Lawson, and I'm a senior Silver Spring resident and caregiver, and I'm here to testify for myself and my cousin, who is an Easter Seals client who has MS and dementia. We are ordinary and direct beneficiaries of MOCO services. I ask that you approve the Easter Seals funding request and like to share how their program enriches our lives for the past 14 years. Okay. First of all, Easter Seals improves the quality of life for Tony, that's my cousin, by providing engaging activities and engaging. Now he's disappointed when he can't come. It's better health. He has better health than I do. Because of Easter Seals, he needs no nursing home yet. He's approved for a nursing home, but because of the waiver, he can go to Easter Seals. That's such a blessing. It improves the quality of my life, for I know that he's safe and he has quality activities. It helps me with his meals, breakfast, lunch, 2 snacks, and saves me time. It provides him transportation to and from home. I hated taking him there during the pandemic because there was no shuttle service. And also during the pandemic, when Easter Seals was closed, they delivered fresh vegetables, fruits, breads, and the like, scheduled vaccine clinics, offered tablets. There were daily Zoom meetings to continuously engage him. Easter Seal helps me with paperwork with Maryland Department of Human Services so Tony can still come. Again, wonderful staff over the years. Easter Seals helps me pay it forward so I can help others. I'm now also a caregiver to my aunt and uncle who are homebound and bedridden. And it also allows me to keep a promise to my favorite aunt that I will help take care of my cousin who lives with me now. So in your consideration of your budget, please approve what is requested. In the long run, it saves everyone money and heartache for our family and clients who do not have to move into a nursing home when there is Easter Seals medical daycare. It is a better alternative until it's not for a client and family and not because of lack of funds. Thank you for your time and consideration. Got it in.
There you go. You did a great job for your first time, and we look forward to having you back. So thank you for your testimony, and thank you all for your testimony this afternoon. Our final in-person panel is Jim Epstein, Robert Ponchera, Reardon Sullivan, Paul Geller, Katrina Kugel, and Marie Sloan. And Mr. Epstein, we'll start with you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. I am Jim Epstein, and I am here today as the chair of the Wheaton Urban District Advisory Committee. And due to the limited time that is available today, I'll summarize our comments on 2 different items. concerns about the FY24 operating budget as it relates to urban districts, and of course support for the CIP amendments regarding the Wheaton Arts and Cultural Center. We refer the council members to WUDAC's previous communications and testimony, including a letter to the county executive regarding FY24 budget outlining community priorities dated March the 7th, and the letter to the Education and Culture Committee dated March 24th, and of course the full text of this testimony in written form. Regarding the operating budget, we are disappointed that really only one of the district's requests has been funded, and that's for signage for the building that was promised many, many years ago. So many concerns have been denied, including public safety, pedestrian and vision zero improvements in the MCDOT budget, and investments in the streetery. In order to function more effectively and efficiently as an arts and entertainment district, there is a need for additional resources to provide oversight, accountability, management, and publicity for events and branding. It is important to develop a viable working model from the many examples that already exist in this community and elsewhere to promote Wheaton as a destination and a home to a wide variety of traditional, ethnic, visual, and performing arts. It's also important to keep in mind equity issues with regarding to funding for urban districts.
About if they knew about it. Our neighbors who don't know what our libraries offer come from every race, class, and income group. In fact, the list of library services I outlined above would probably come as a surprise to most of our own acquaintances, and it's time to fix that. Toward that end, the Library Board and FOMC jointly proposed a marketing capability for the libraries in the FY24 budget. It did not get included. You will note that the March 15 recommendation proposes some cuts to MCPL's FTE allotment. We believe some of those positions could be used instead for marketing personnel. We ask that the council look at this possibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Saucy, for your testimony. Next is Ama Felix.
Good afternoon, President Glass and Vice President Friedson. I would like to thank you for the invitation to speak here today regarding the County Executive's FY24 operating budget. My name is Ama Felix. I'm President and CEO of Collegiate Directions, Inc., a comprehensive nonprofit organization that focuses on college access and completion for low-income students who are first generation to college high school students in Montgomery County. We are one of the organizations recommended to the County Council for FY 2024 Community Development Block Grant Public Service Grant funding, and we're asking that the county fund the County Executive's FY24 operating budget to ensure that vulnerable members of our community receive the services they need to thrive. CDI serves students whose families on average earn approximately 3 times less than the median income, household income in the county. 86% of our high school scholars receive farms, free and reduced meals, which is an indicator of students experiencing serious poverty. After graduating from college, many low-income students need help transitioning into well-paying careers. In fact, a 2021 study showed that even with identical credentials, low-income first-generation college graduates have more difficulty finding a quality first job. They accept offers more quickly, they make less money, they take jobs for which they're overqualified because they are less well-connected and untrained in the basics of professional job seeking. CDI's CDBG funds are focused on providing scholars with mentors who can help them successfully navigate into a career, train them in core competencies that align with employer expectations, and serve as a connector for internships and job opportunities. We ask for your support of the FY 2024 operating budget. It will help CDI provide students from low-income backgrounds who will be the first in their families to graduate from college with the mentoring, training, and access to internships and job opportunities they need to be gainfully employed members of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Felix. Next is Nicole Williams.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We hear you fine. Thank you.
Great.
Good afternoon, members and staff. My name is Nicole, representing the Montgomery County Coalition to Protect Neighborhoods, found at MoCo Coalition on social. We are a group of residents who've come together to protect our community from being blanketed with 33,000 and 65,000 cell antennas 30 feet or less from our homes. Unfortunately, we're facing this because of the passing of ZTA 2201 in October 2022. That ZTA was actually a redo of 1907 because of mistakes made with zoning laws and ordinances. Many of us, including myself, met with previous council members and staff leading up to the votes for both ZTAs. We discussed zoning issues, offered amendments, and informed them that the DC Circuit Court ruled against the FCC regarding their outdated 1996 RF radiation guidelines in August of 2021. With that said, we strongly support the funding of the Office of the People's Counsel, or OPC. The OPC exists under Article 7, Section 2-150 of the Montgomery County Code. Their purpose is listed as follows. Informed public action on land use matters require a full exploration of complex factual and legal issues, and an independent People's Counsel can protect the public interest and promote a full and fair representation of relevant issues in administrative proceedings in order to achieve balanced records upon which sound land use decisions can be made. In addition, the People's Counsel, who provides technical assistance to the citizens and citizen organizations, will encourage efforts participating in and increasing public understanding of and confidence in the county land use process. The OPC's statutory requirements have never been removed from the county code. Furthermore, the county council has zoning amendment procedure appendix B. That appendix requires participation in zoning text amendment advisors, including the OPC, at multiple steps within the ZTA development and review process. Consultation between council staff and advisors must occur prior to ZTA introduction and the drafting of any staff reports. However, the consultations with the OPC has not occurred for more than a decade because of funding was withdrawn in 2010, meaning residents were denied a seat at the table throughout the gestation cycles of over 100 ZTAs. The People's Counsel was created to be an essential pillar of participatory democracy, to help inform residents and facilitate public engagement. In essence, it provides residents with a valuable tool, a land use attorney that is on their side to help sort out obscure world of zoning laws. This is why we support the CE Elrich's recommendation to restore funding to the OPC in the FY24 operating budget and ask that you please follow his lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Next is Sheldon Fishman.
Hello. President, can you hear me?
We hear you and see you now.
Okay. President Glass, Vice President Friedson, and members of the County Council, thank you for the opportunity to address the County Council on the county's FY24 budget. My name is Sheldon Fishman. We have lived in Montgomery County since 1974 and raised our 4 children here. We thank you for funding the public schools they attended, the sports fields they competed on, the public libraries, and more. Our grandchildren now benefit from what you fund. I am testifying as an individual. I enthusiastically endorse each of the budget recommendations in the written testimony of the Montgomery County Climate Action Plan Coalition in your packet under Karen Metchis, and the budget recommendations of the Friends of Sligo Creek under Kit Cage. My testimony illustrates the importance of the Park Department budget recommendations from these 2 groups. Speaker Tip O'Neill said all politics is local. Here's Sligo Creek. We live a few blocks from the Forest Glen Metro stop on Georgia Avenue, where it intersects the Beltway. As you know, you are trying to increase the density in neighborhoods like mine near public transit. I'm asking is please restore the cuts and even increase the budget for the Parks Department so they can preserve and grow the green areas, especially in urban areas where you are increasing the density. Please expand what you are doing right. Please restore the cuts to the Parks Department. The proposed budget for the Parks Department is 4% below inflation. Virtually all the parks projects reduce greenhouse gas, sustain carbon sequestration, and living grass and tree. Please allocate operating funds that will fully fund the Montgomery County Climate Action Plan's request to give the county climate action plan the urgency that it needs to address the climate emergency we face. My written testimony includes several more recommendations, including a recommendation that will save money and avoid well-known, unfunded future liabilities. It is late, so I would yield the remainder of my time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fishman. It's a beautiful day. I hope you get to go outside and enjoy the park for yourself. Our last speaker this afternoon is Mary Jane Mucci, I'm sorry.
Hello, Mary Jane Mucci, lived in Tacoma Park since 1985. What? The hostess spotlighted your video for everyone. Would you like to unmute your microphone to speak?
We hear you and we see you.
I don't understand. I'm low tech, okay? I bought my house. I was married at the time, but my husband, I couldn't even afford it then, a house in Tacoma Park for under $70,000, which I was one of the few people here, many of them Black Americans, who have bought these houses because they were affordable back then. Now they're being taxed to death. I cannot afford these new property taxes. My son, Montgomery County has deserted my son. He's never got any assistance, never, ever. All these people telling how nice they are, the organizations, especially Sikh, really anger me. I'm sorry. Only one of them has ever helped us was Building Montgomery, who did some odds and ends in my house, and thank you for that. But the rest of you, where are you when my son needed you? He's now, he'll be 38 years old soon, in June. No one's helping him. He's turned into a zombie. He's a zombie. You cannot carry on a two-way conversation with him. Everyone has deserted him, everyone. And my heart is broken. I cannot take it much longer. And if you try to take our house, which you're going to try to do because I can't afford these property taxes, I'm going to give civil disobedience. You're not going to take this house from us. You hear me? You're going to have to drag us out. You hear me? This is a promise. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. And thank you to everybody who joined us this afternoon in person and virtual for the third of fourth public hearings. We will return this evening at 7 o'clock for our last round of public hearings before we begin our official deliberations. And with that, this public hearing is now closed. Thank you very much.
In your daily commute. Travel is slow on I-270 in the following locations.